I'm known for making simplified videos with a bunch of stick figures, but in my day to day work, I actually do a lot of work with Gen AI, whether it's improving my day to day efficiencies or customizing models to make our operations teams more efficient. But I wanted to think about whether or not I could actually use it to improve our fitness programs and questions that could help us do better in the gym to live longer, healthier lives and be the strongest versions of ourselves. So let's see if we can do it. Let's see if Gen AI can improve our fitness programs. I am trying a new type of video here, so let me know in the comments down below if you do enjoy it, or if I should go back to stick figures. I am pretty handsome, but the stick figures are pretty freaking awesome. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you do enjoy it. Help me growing and keep the good content rolling. Let's get into it. The thing about Gen AI is not everyone is currently using it, and even the people that are using it may not be using it correctly. It's one of those things that it will give you results back depending on what you give it. So, for our fitness work, if we just give a simple question like, what type of workout should I do today? You're not giving any context, and it will spit back a result from numerous years of experience that could be close to what you want or not. So we need to be very specific with what we're asking it and trying to prompt it in a way that will actually get us a result. So the way that I like to think about this for our fitness journey is what goals do we have and how specific I can get about sharing what my goals are, because I might want to hit a goal, but I also might not want to compromise another aspect of my life. So making sure that we're very specific on how to balance our goals and give it, appropriate feedback can push it forward that way. Additionally, giving it any other context that we have. So, what type of workouts we're doing right now. I will give it a breakdown of how many reps and sets I might be doing for a particular workout. So that way they can go in and analyze if I'm doing too much, too little, if there's anything of concern from that aspect. And then just what questions do you want answered? Do you want it to go through and analyze the workout as a whole? Do you want it to prod back with specific questions for you to ask yourself? Gen AI is one of those things that it's going to give you back what you ask it for. So you need to ask the right questions. So let's take a look at an example here. All right, so let's take a look at what I recently gave to ChatGPT. So, first, just a general greeting. I don't know, I personally like to greet the AI, but that's up for debate if you want to actually do that or not. But here I said, I want you to evaluate my current block of training based on data from the last 5 years. And I note that because there is a lot of information on the web that could go from, recently to hundreds of years back that have been debunked. So I gave the last 5 years just so I could have the most up to date information. I've provided my goals and my current workouts. Am I targeting or correctly targeting my goals? What would I change, or should I change, I guess, if anything? What questions should I ask myself? And what questions do you have? So I'm giving a bunch of different things that the AI can look into, specifically if I'm on target, should I change anything based on what I'm currently doing? Any questions I should be asking to myself about my program, so that way I can, start thinking about it and don't necessarily need the AI to answer. And then just any questions that they have from their side that might trigger further conversations. So here are my primary goals. Overall, I have a 180-pound pull-up, handstand push-up strength, and running fitness. And then I break this down a little bit more, which I recommend too, which is, for specifically the pull day, my primary goal is to get the 180-pound pull up, but I also want to maintain my front lever and I want to keep my one arm pull up as well. So I don't want to sacrifice that. And also noting some context that I just changed from a low rep, high weight block to a medium rep, medium weight block. So just as much context I can give. For push day, I just recently hit my goal of 3 sets of 10 reps of handstand push-ups, but I do still want to continue building strength in that movement, at least in the short term, while I work on a new goal. And then legs and running is just build up, my running distance and conditioning overall. From here, I actually go into all of my workouts. So this did take some time to write, and that's the thing about being specific. If you have it already written down, you can copy and paste it. But for here, I gave some additional context where, I have my full workout, front lever, the amount of sets I do, the rest that I have, if it's a max hold or a certain, time I'm going for, or the number of reps, all of that information I try to give. And then also listing out, front lever is my hardest movement, so I have to put it first. And then based on that, I also want to get my one arm pull ups. So I need to put that at the start as well. And then I'll follow up with pull ups after the fact. And then I go into what's my next day. So running and legs, what that looks like, my push day, my stretching and speed workouts, and then going back and looking at my other pull days, my long run, and my other push day. So everything is listed here. Now let's take a look and see what they actually gave as a final result. I haven't reviewed this yet, so who knows what I'm actually about to look at. All right, so first it's going to break down what apparently I'm doing well. So clear prioritization. You start your pull days with front lever and one arm pull work. Smart, since those are most strength and skill demanding. I agree. Your handstand push up work is robust and progression focused. Good. It's always good that you get the positive feedback at the start so you can give yourself a little pat on the back. So it's pretty smart with how the AI actually does that. Volume and frequency, excellent pull and push frequency, 2 sessions each every 8 days, 2 solid running focus days and a leg day, good hybrid performance. That's good. Goal alignment, 180 pound. You're addressing it directly by focusing on heavy sets. Handstand push-up, EMOM, straight sets, burnout variety, targets those abilities there. Running, you've got intensity in different zones, which is excellent for building aerobic base. Recovery consideration, deload and recovery. Handstand work on leg days is light, avoiding CNS overload. Nice. So far, some good highlights there. Now we go down into questions to ask yourself. So, are you progressing week to week? Are weights or reps increasing in key lifts? Are run paces getting more manageable? And honestly, these are good questions to ask yourself. So, for me, my weights, at least right now, have been not going too well for the under 20-pound pull up. Handstand push ups has gradually gone up over time, and my run paces are getting more manageable. So, 2 of my 3 goals are working well, but I'm still a little bit at the top level. But when I'm doing my pull up work, it tends to be a little bit tougher to progress, but something to think about. Are you feeling recovered by day 5 to 8? So my pull two or push two are actually heavy days. So if fatigue is creeping in, I may consider some volume deloading. Hadn't thought about that, but it's good to consider going forward whether or not I'm able to actually recover going up to that point. Are your tendons and joints healthy? This one, luckily, as of now, is yes, but that's always a good question to ask yourself too. And what is your time horizon to reach the goal? For example, 180 pounds in 3 months versus general improvement this year would influence whether you shift into strength specific cycles. That's another good question. So, this one I don't have a set timeline, but this is something I hadn't thought about. So, a pretty good question here from ChatGPT. Um, Now, if we go down into the recommendations here, track your max intent versus fatigue. Okay, so you're doing both a heavy and volume pull session. This is great for progress, but check that performance on pull 2 isn't suffering due to fatigue from pull 1, especially if the day spacing tightens. That's a pretty interesting technique to try. Maybe I'll consider that in my next workout block, maybe being a little bit more heavy but less in volume, then having a higher volume second day, something I might consider. Consider strength block periodization. So if the 180-pound pull-up is a top priority, consider a focused 4-week strength block where you drop volume of pull-ups on pull 1. Okay, focus on intensity, 90 to 95% 1 rep max with full recovery. And then supportive work, scapular pulls, heavy holds, slow eccentric. So very interesting approach here, and it's good science that I think I might actually be able to improve my workouts with. Then it goes down here, handstand push-up progressions. It even gets me a shout out to my goal. That's something that's crazy that AI can do that. And then, how I'm going to shift it. So wall deficit handstand push-up, freestanding if not already, weighted. So it's giving me different ways to overload it, which is great. Leg volume. So lower body volume is a little on the light side, especially if running volume climbs. So it's giving a couple different variations to do. And you're doing it well balanced with speed and aerobic work. Just make sure your long run pace is conversational. So that's more of just keeping my pace solid there. So potential watchouts. And I didn't specifically ask for this, but I'm glad it's pointing it out. So it's just fatigue overall. 3 intense strength workouts, my push 2, pull 2, and my long run in days 5 to 7 can be tough. So monitoring my sleep, good to see. And then overuse injuries here. So some final questions. Am I targeting my goals effectively? It does believe I am, which is great. It's, everything specifically I want about it and things to consider, strategically deloading. So, and then even then, would you like to build a strength focused microcycle to go on forward? So I could now prompt it and get some more feedback that way. So, do I think it can improve my workouts? Yes, there's some great questions here that you can run, but you also have to make sure that when you are talking with the AI, you are giving it all this information. It can be tough to sit there and write out everything that you want and thinking in detail about how to prompt it. But if you give it the information and ask for what you want, it's going to go above and beyond and give you some good feedback. Obviously, I can do that in the comments too if you have any questions, but this can be another tool that might be able to specifically target into your situation that someone else might not be able to and give you some assistance going forward. So, if you enjoyed the video, please like it. It's definitely a different one, and subscribe to the channel. Um, Comment down below. You think any of this will be relevant to you? Is there anything you want me to help you with prompting going forward? Yeah, just anything you have, let me know. This has been honestly kind of fun to go through and see what it'll get back. And yeah, I think AI is potentially the future, so we might see how it can benefit us at least before obviously the robots come over and destroy us all and all that crazy stuff, right? So have a good one, everyone. See you later.